Hi everyone, today I'm going to go over Unit 18 and 22. I'm going to touch base especially on the PowerPoint presentation that you have to do in your main assessment task, okay? So, sorry about that. So, first off, there's actually 4 textbooks for the diploma. Now, you have to make sure you have all 4 textbooks. You need this for this course. If you do not have your 4 textbooks, please contact enrollments team and they will send it out to you as they are part of your course fees and they're included in the course. So it's very important that you're reading your textbooks to have an understanding on how to do these tasks, okay? Now, first up, I want you to read your PowerPoint for this course. Most of your questions are in your answers are in there, and if not, they're in the related textbook. Now, in your PowerPoint presentation, I always put what textbook chapter you should be reading for your assessment, so please make sure you're reading that because especially with diploma students, when you go out to placement, in your placement book, you have a big section of these units that you have to do in the center. So you have to have the knowledge. So that's why it's super important that you're reading your textbooks, okay? So I'm just gonna fly through these questions here because these are all this information is all in your resources. Like when I say resource, your PowerPoint and your textbooks. Okay, so I'm not going to focus much time on this today, but what I am going to have a look at for you is your big case study assessments, okay? So the first case study one is all about exploring art techniques, okay? So as you can see in this question here, we are looking at Eric Carlisle's The Hungry Caterpillar. This is a very popular children's book, especially for preschool age children. So what you have to do for case study 1, assignment 2, is the children in our preschool room have been exploring the work of Eric Carle. In our group discussions, we have explored the illustrations in his picture book, and then we use Eric Carle's website to learn step-by-step techniques on how he uses to create his collages. Now, see this blue link here? If you click on it, it'll take you to the article that you must read to answer the questions, okay? So this is the article here. It's all about art lessons for kids, okay? So what you have to do is you have to read this here. So it talks about why Eric Carle loves his artwork. He talks about the colors, the textures. He talks about everything. There's pictures to explain what the children are doing. So you have to basically read all of this information here. It goes all the way down. See, keep reading all of this, okay? And then through that, you have to interpret it into your case study questions. Okay, so for example, sorry, I'm just trying to bring up back the assignment. For example, it says, explain why this strategy is appropriate for this group of preschoolers. So if you've read that document, you will know the answer to this because it's in that document, okay? Explain how this experience challenges the children's thinking. Again, they talk about it in the article listed up here in the blue link, okay? This scenario, the educators choose to provide an experience which she believed would provoke children's interest. So you've got to explain why. Again, all linked to this article here. Okay, so that's how you answer that question. A lot of people don't read the article and they get this section wrong. You must read the article and your answers must link back to this article here. Assessment 3 is a research activity. Again, all this information is in your textbook. Please really put good examples so you have a clear understanding yourself. So you have to basically suggest 2 activities for an age-appropriate creative experience. So creative experience to support children's development. So we want birth to 3 months and all the age groups are there. Please don't forget to reference. If you're stuck with ideas on what activities and things like that you should be doing, please go and check out Pinterest. I love Pinterest. I use it a lot when I was teaching. I will show you the website Pinterest. Sorry, I'm just gonna. Definitely sign up to this because you will be using it quite a lot, especially when you go to placement and things like this. So you just Google Pinterest. Just quickly open that. And then you can just search, okay? So you can search like, I'm just gonna go back to the question now, sorry. Creative experience for birth to 3 months, okay? So if you go to Pinterest and type in like, create activities for kids, or you can even go birth to 3 months. Look at all these ideas, okay? There is no excuse if you don't know, okay? So come to Pinterest, like you could, you know, and like, you know, here's a really good one. I'm just gonna click on this one because it's a moving thing, okay? So you just click on the picture, okay? And then it takes you, see up here, it takes you to the website, okay? And then that's where you can get your ideas from here, okay? They even have a free ebook with great information, so you could download that and use that as well. Whoops, sorry, I've just... See baby bubbles. There's one activity for you, okay? Balloons, look, they have it all listed. Lights, you can put that as in your answers, okay? Ball play, look at that connection right there. That's amazing. So go and check out Pinterest to help you with this research activity. Okay, here comes the fun part. This is the part where everyone struggles with, okay? This is research activity 2, promoting creativity. Now, please listen to what I'm about to say. This is not a 5-minute PowerPoint. This is actually a research activity. This is actually a big task, and a lot of people failed this assessment a few times, okay? So really take note with what I'm about to say. You might need to play this video a few times, especially focusing on your research activity 2, but I'm about to go through, okay? Now, let me explain some things to you. For this task here, you have to create a PowerPoint presentation that can be presented to a group of Certificate 3 trainees, and it has to be called Promoting Creativity. Now, keyword here, Certificate 3 trainees. This PowerPoint is not child focused. This PowerPoint is not parent focused. This is, you have to pretend you are, like myself, a trainer, a quality lead educator that has years of experience, and you're teaching new educators, adult educators, about why we have to teach the children to be creative. Why is creativity so important in children's lives, okay? So here are some key things that you have to go through, okay? So in your PowerPoint presentation, it can be no more than 20 slides. So you have to have about 20 slides, okay? Now, you must use photos and other visuals, but you have to keep your word limit small. And I'll show you why in a minute. Now, this is the question where everyone gets confused, okay? You may include a voiceover. Now, you don't have to include a voiceover. You can if you want, but you don't have to. But what you must include, and this is where everyone goes wrong, and I can't pass you on this assignment until you do this, okay? You must include your verbal presentation in the notes section of your PowerPoint, okay? So You have to pretend you are standing in front of a class of adults giving a verbal presentation about why promoting creativity is so important for children. So you have a PowerPoint as a guide, and then you have your notes. Two separate things. People are just submitting their PowerPoints. Your notes is where you put all your research in. Your notes should be huge, okay? Now, how to do this, and this is the tricky part, okay? And now I'm going to show you a little video on this, okay? So let me just quickly open up a PowerPoint. Actually, let me just see. So I'm going to create my PowerPoint. So I'm going to have a title page on here. I'm just going to type that there. You know, you might want to add something in your design, whatever. Okay, that's my PowerPoint. Now my next slide is where I'm going to pick my topic. Now, if I go back to my question here, the first one is describe creativity in a context of children's services, okay? So my heading might be, you know, what is creativity, okay? And then I might have one or two sentences, and then I'm going to have a few pictures, okay? Now, can you see here where it says click to add notes? Watch my little thing. See how I can type down here? This is where I'm going to tell you what creativity is. You should have at least 3 to 4 good sized paragraphs of information about what is creativity. This is where you must research. You need to use your textbooks, the PowerPoint, the extra resources that I've put in your assignment information for you. Yes, you can go to Google. Make sure you're reading the content though, because sometimes when you go to Google, you get the wrong information and that's where you go wrong, okay? So make sure you have an understanding of each question so you're getting the correct information, okay? So your slide is what you would show the class, but in your notes section in here is what you're talking about. Now, I've got this little YouTube video that it clearly explains how to do this as well. I'm just going to start playing that so you really get an understanding on how to add notes in the notes section. Let's make that big.
In this tutorial, we're going to go through how to add notes to a PowerPoint presentation. If you're building these slide decks for school or for assignment, this is usually required. If you are doing this for a real life business presentation, this is something that comes in very handy because you can have all your notes right in front of you as you're giving the presentation without anybody else having to see them. So this is a helpful tool no matter really how you're using this deck. So the very first thing to add a note, all you have to do is go to the slide that you want to add it to. So say we don't want any right here, but we do want to add some to the intro slide. Click on that slide and come down the bottom. Now, if you're using a different version of PowerPoint, it may be in a little bit different spot, but most of them are right on the bottom. So click on Notes, and right there, your note box pops up. So you can add anything you want. Say, my amazing notes are great, and then blah, blah, blah. Okay, when you leave this page, you can see the notes are here, but there aren't any notes for this slide. Go to the next one, and there they are. If I do a new slide, there's a spot for you to put new notes, but the notes are specific to that slide. Now, say when you're running your presentation, so we'll come up to the very top and do start from the beginning. You could also hit F5 on the keyboard, or you could go up to slideshow and go from the beginning to start it. Now, you can't see this on this presentation because it's using just one screen, but in a normal presentation, you'd be doing it from one screen, and you'd be outputting the actual PowerPoint to another one. So what you'd be seeing is a black screen with your notes on the bottom if you have them. So as we go through what I'm seeing, because I'm giving this and I'm seeing on my second screen, I'm seeing the large image and I'm seeing my bullet points, but on my other screen, I'm actually seeing my amazing notes are great, blah, blah, blah. So this is a really nice way as you're giving it. So say I was giving this in a go-to meeting type setting or at a business meeting, when you have these two screens up, you can actually see all your notes on one and no one even knows that you have the notes. So because they're completely invisible to end users unless you give them the PowerPoint slide deck, of course. So this is a really nice way of putting those in and being able to have notes either for yourself, or if you give the deck out, to add more details without cluttering up the content of the slide itself. It's considered a best practice, especially if you're doing this for classes, for educational purposes, to put a very limited amount of content from a text point of view up here and actually loading the majority of your content in the notes section. So nobody wants to be sent a PowerPoint that has paragraphs up in the main part of the deck. That's what the notes are for. So now you know how to add notes, and so let me know if you have any other questions on how those can be customized.
If you work in a team.
Okay, so that explains how to add a note, okay? Now, for every slide, except, of course, your title slide, your cover, your first slide, your PowerPoint, you must add notes, okay? So let's go through the other part of this assessment. So you now know that you must have notes, like your presentation notes, in your PowerPoint, okay? You can include a voiceover. So if you wanted to include a voiceover, I have another little video on that. Now, what your voiceover must be is actually you reading your presentation notes, okay? So everything that you write in your notes section, it's basically just you doing the voice recording and reading it to me, okay? Sorry, I'm just gonna.
Goodwill Community Foundation, creating opportunities for better life.
I'm working on a presentation that people are going to be watching on their own as part of a training program. I want it to be as interesting as possible, so I think I'm going to add some audio to spice it up a little. Start by going to the Insert tab, where you'll find the audio command on the far right of the ribbon. Here you can insert audio from a file, or you can record your own. For this first slide, I want to add some intro music that I already have saved to my computer. So I'm going to choose audio on my PC, and a dialog box will appear. PowerPoint is compatible with several different audio formats, including MP3, WAV, and more. All you have to do is select the file you want, then click the Insert button. You can easily move the audio if you need to, then click the Play button to preview it. To jump to a different part of the song, just click anywhere on the timeline. Next, Next, we're going to take a look at ways to add narration by recording your own audio. You just need a microphone, one that's either built into your computer or the kind that plugs in separately. Again, go to the audio command on the Insert tab. But this time, choose Record Audio from the menu, and a little dialog box will appear. When you're ready, click the button with the red dot to start recording, then click this one to stop. I'm just going to record a short intro for the slide. But I already know how to use the internet. Okay, so I've recorded my audio. Now we can click the play button to preview it. But I already know how to use the internet. When you're happy with the results, you can give the file a name, then click OK, and it'll be added to your slide. Now that we've added a couple different types of audio, I thought we'd take a look at some of the options on the Playback tab. This is where you can change the way your audio works when you play it during your presentation. You can even do some simple editing. Say you only want to use part of the clip, for example, not the entire thing. You can easily create an excerpt using the Trim Audio command. Just look for the little green and red markers in the dialog box. You can click and drag these to change the start and end times. I'm going to leave the beginning the way it is in this example, but end the song after only a few seconds or so. When you're done, click OK, and the clip will be trimmed. You can also set your audio to fade in and fade out if you feel it starts or stops too abruptly. Just look to the options in the editing group. I like the way this song starts, so I'm not going to add a fade in, but I will add a fade out of, let's say, 3 seconds. We'll take a look at what this sounds like later. If you want to be able to jump to a specific part of the audio during your presentation, you can add a bookmark. All you have to do is click the timeline to mark the point you want to use. Next, click the Add Bookmark command up here on the ribbon, and a little circle will appear. Now you can easily jump to this spot anytime during your presentation. When we play this in slideshow view, we will have to click the audio controls to make the music play. I'd rather have it start automatically though, since it is the intro music. We can change this using the settings in the Audio Options group. Just click the drop-down arrow next to Start, then choose Automatically from the menu. You can also hide the audio icon during your presentation, set the audio to loop until you stop it manually, and more. Finally, I think I'd like to make some changes to the appearance of the audio icon. We can do that by switching over to the Format tab. These are basically all the same options you get when you insert a picture in PowerPoint. In fact, you can even change the audio icon to a picture of your own, instead of using the default speaker icon. To get started, click the Change Picture command. You can choose an image from any of the usual sources, including files saved to your computer and a Bing image search. I bet we can find a simple music note somewhere online. There we go. This one looks good. You can even adjust the image using the usual commands. In this example, I'm going to change the color so it blends in a little better with the slide. So I think my audio is finished. Why don't we take a look at the final product in full slideshow view? Now you know how to add and also edit audio in PowerPoint, including music, sound effects, and even your own narration.
Okay, so now you know how to do your audio as well, okay? So, just remember your audio must be your presentation, okay? Right, let me make this bigger. Okay, now, what do you need to talk about in your PowerPoint slides, okay? So see this here, A, B, C, D, and E. These are the topics that you must talk about. Now, you might be thinking, how am I going to get 20 slides out of 5 topics. Okay, super easy, guys. Let me break it down and explain it to you. Okay, so, you know, describe creativity in the context of children's services. There is so much information on this. You could easily get like 2 or 3 slides. Okay, explore the difference between product and process. Please research this because there is quite a lot of information. Again, you could tell me what is product, what is process, and then what is the difference. There's 3 PowerPoint slides and, you know, lots of notes on that just alone. Explore how the physical environment, including open-ended materials and loose parts, can support creativity. Again, you could do a slide on a physical environment. You could do a slide on open-ended materials and loose parts. Again, so much information on that. Describe your role as an educator in supporting creativity. Again, you could get a couple of slides of information out of that. Now, providing examples of creativity in such as a role as indoor, outdoor, music, movement, dramatic play, and visual arts, I would definitely be giving these a slide or 2 each, okay? So, you know, tell me creative play indoors, creative play outdoors, music and movement, dramatic play, and visual arts. So there's easily 20 slides just in that information there, okay? You must only cover these information topics, by the way. Now, in here, it says you may include a group exercise as a reinforcing a particular point, such as product process of art. Now, I totally recommend everybody does this, okay? It'll give you a better understanding, and not only that, you will need it, especially when you do your placement. This will help you a lot, okay? So a group exercise could be, you know, you could get the students that are listening to your presentation, you might get them to do, I don't know, like get some cardboard and like do a presentation on what is product, what is process, what is the difference, okay? And maybe give you picture examples on what is product and what is process art. I don't want to tell you what it means because I really want you to research this yourself, because it is so important, you know, this as an educator, and it really helps child's creative thinking when you know the difference between product and process. I would definitely, you know, go to Pinterest like I explained to you before, and you'll find different art examples on process and product art. Maybe put that in a collage and explain it in your activity, group exercise activity. Maybe that's something the students could do for their group activity, okay? Now, down below, it says describe a creative in children's art services. Start again. Describe creativity in the content of children's services, okay? You can just copy your notes into here as well. But again, you must, and I can't stress this enough, you must have those notes in that PowerPoint presentation. There's no way out of it. I can't pass you until you have the notes attached in your PowerPoint presentation. But saves writing it out, just copy and paste these in here as well, okay? Now that is it for this unit here. If you need extra support, please book a Zoom call by emailing admin@apex.edu.au and request a Zoom appointment with me, and I can break it up for you, okay? Thank you for listening to this video, and I wish you all the best for this assignment.